So, toujours Shaman, nous sommes encore sur le stand de Galaxy of Trian Deluxe et March il va nous faire une petite présentation du jeu, va nous expliquer un petit peu comment ça tourne.
Alright guys, this is the game. It's prepared for 2 players. The one, both Nari, it's a green guy, and the second, Quality 2, it's a blue guy. During the game, the player who saw the falling star recently starts the game. So basically, blue one, he starts the game. So basically, at the beginning of the turn, he draw a tile from the rack. He can choose which tile he would like to play. For example, let's say this one, and after that, he need to play this tile on the board, on the table. Then he has an action. He has 5 actions to choose from, but the most popular action is to lay an emissary on the part of the nebula or the part of the planetary system. So he decides to put his emissary on the part on the nebula. That means he starts to try to control this nebula. After that, the second player can choose which tile he wants to play. So he decides to choose this one, and he has an option to choose from which side he would like to play. Okay, let's say he would like to place this tile here. After that, he has an action, so that means he might put his emissary on the nebula or the planetary system as well. He decides to put the emissary here. Now the nebula is closed. We need to find who's on advantage here. So both players have one emissary. That means both players score, but those guys are going back on the race card. Both players receive 2 points for nebula. That was green action. Then blue player starts to play the game. Now, so what he can do? He can place tile like here, and he'll close the planetary system. It provides him lots of points, but also what he can do, he can close the space. You see there is a space here, so each tile in the space gives him 3 points. That means this blue guy receives 6 points. So he decided to do it. So before the scoring, he has an action. So he decided to put this emissary onto a nebula. Then he received 6 points for closing the space. Now it's a green turn. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry for that.
Yes, I forgot about this.
Any time when you close the nebula, you put some random crystals on the nebula. 2 crystals for 2 tiles, 3 crystals for 3 tiles, etc., etc. During the game, you are able to harvest those crystals, and each crystal will give you 3 points at the end of the game. Because during the game you score points, but also at the end of the game it's a big scoring. During the game you score about 100, 150, but when you play well, you can score additional about 200, 250, which is very important to control some parts of the galaxy.
So this is some kind of end game objectives, right?
Indeed, yeah, that's a kind of end game objective, as you said. But it's also during the game you need to control which part of the galaxy you would like to control. So during the game you score for closing nebulas, for closing planetary systems, for closing space. But at the end of the game, you can score your nebulas, which you control, or the planetary system which you control. Let's say now it's a green turn. He would like to play this tile here. Alright, so let's play the tile here, and he has an action, so he can choose between placing the guy on the nebula or placing the tile on the planetary system. So he decided definitely to place this on the planetary system. That means he closed that, and he controls, and he received 2 points for each tile. That means he scored 4 points. So now he has 6 points. It stays here. It's up to him, to be honest, but it stays here. It's better for him. That's because at the end of the game, when he upgrades this emissary into the research station or even to the base station, he'll receive more points. That's the end scoring. Then we have the blue guy who plays the tile. He would like to expand his nebula. He doesn't want to put this guy here because he already has this nebula. So he decided to do a research, which is a fifth action. He immediately scored 2 points for a researching. Now it's a green. As you see, there is no downtime. The players play all the time. Even with 4 players, the game flows. It's not a struggling during the game. Now it's a turn, the green turn. So what he would like to do? All right, he has a option to choose from both sides. But what he would like to do? He would like to join this nebula, get this territory back. We'll see how it works. That was his action. That's the end. He didn't close anything. That means that's the end of his turn. Yes, exactly. Now it's a blue action. Of course, that's the area control. That's also area control, and now it's a blue turn. So he has an option. Maybe he scores some points for closing space. Maybe he likes to start a new planetary system here, but he decides to close the nebula. That means he has an action. So the nebula is closed. We'll check for advantage. Who has an advantage here on this closed nebula? Of course, obviously, blue has an advantage. So green goes back on the out there. Basically, there is nothing like losing your resources during the game. Nothing comes back to the box. I'd say players, they don't like when sometimes they are losing forever. So we decided to keep them alive. All right. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 points, which is 4 points for closing the nebula for blue one. So it's 14, and 4 crystals appears. Now it's a quick green turn. So green, he wants to.
Do you get back your emissary?
Up to blue player, because you'll see the end scoring. It's very important. So he decided to keep those 2 on the nebula.
Okay, so it's not mandatory. Don't want it to be sure.
It's not mandatory, but also when somebody else closes your emissaries, you score, but you can't take it back. So sometimes your emissary might be in the trap.
So that means that this one.
It should stay here because this is blue. Close. Is it?
That's right. If green would have an advantage, if he doesn't have an advantage, this guy is removed. That's
Okay, that's clear.
okay. Let's go back, because I would like to show you the one more mechanism here, how it works. Blue scores 2 points for closing nebula, but he doesn't control. But he was responsible for closing the nebula. 2 crystal appears, but he would like to start to control this planetary system. Now we have a blue turn, so maybe he would like to start place the tile here, but instead of placing the emissary here, he upgraded his emissary into the first level into the research station. That means he received 1 crystal, and from next round he's able to harvest those crystals. So let's start to harvest something, but before we need to solve the green's round. Green, he would like to expand his planetary system, so he left this tile here and he placed another emissary just to make sure he'll control this planetary system. Now it's blue turn. So at the beginning of his turn, he harvests 1 crystal. Each crystal, as I said previously, probably it's worth 3 points. So after that, he draw a tile. He pick up the side which side he would like to choose. So he decides to already place, because he's an action. So he placed his emissary right here, and he received 2 points for each planet, for each tile, which is 4 points here. And basically that's how game works. The game ends when all tiles are depleted. Oh yeah, that's the
What is that?
another layer of the game. The deluxe version, includes the first expansions for free. That's the ships. So instead of doing an action, you can launch your ship into the space. Those guys, for example, this guy can. Okay, before explanation, maybe we'll use them. What we could do? Yeah, we play green. So basically, what we would like to do, maybe we'll launch our small rogue ship. That's an action. All right. another action, I need to use him to close nearby the nebula. So we'll stay here for a while. Now it's a blue turn. He harvests crystal each turn, and he draw a tile. Okay, he starts to control the new nebula, so he plays his emissary right here to make sure that's his nebula. Then it's a green turn. He keeping to expand his planetary system, but he doesn't want to use an action to place an emissary. Instead of he move his rogue in nearby the nebula. From the next round, he's able to steal some crystals. Nice, isn't it?
So this is okay. So this is the first expansion that is included. That
But we have also the corvettes, the battleships that are going into the space. At the end of the game, there's still some points. So you see, there's some fight as well between those ships. They can destroy each other. It's so many things, you know.
okay. So it's not mandatory. You can just put it or remove it, right?
The thing is, you can place with an expansion. You can place without this expansion, and you can even place without those. You don't need to upgrade, and you play by
Simple placement and
like in a well-known game.
okay, that's pretty clear. And thank you very much for your explanation, Marcin. Thank you very much. Bye bye.